G'day folks, Scott Amon here from Venture. Most of you guys know, watch our channel a fair bit, that we breed working kelpies and run beef cattle here on our coastal property on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. We, Dicko, that'll do, behave. You've also probably noticed, we've mentioned previously that we've just purchased this side-by-side. It's a CF Moto UFORCE 600. Going to go through just the basics, why we bought it, what we do with it. Some of it will be used for our Venture adventures, and most of the time it'll be used here on the farm for doing general work duties and what have you. I'll give you a bit of a look at the property as well in this video, a quick overview of what we do here. Of New South Wales. It's nestled in a picturesque and fertile valley just some 3 to 4 kilometres from the coastline. Baru's northern boundary is a primary coastal creek. The paddocks have numerous gullies that are often wet and boggy, so our machinery has to do a lot of water crossings. In this video they are all quite low in water level. The property has a nice mix of gentle hills and lush creek flats, with healthy stands of native trees. We run about 60 brahman breeding cows, putting a speckled part bull over them at present. We have operated as a working kelpie stud for almost 30 years, sending dogs all over Australia and throughout the world. Our dogs are also used in the management of our own livestock. We truly treasure this place we call home, and working with our livestock and working dogs. Mix that with an increasing amount of our beloved remote Australian travel, and we think we are getting pretty close to the perfect life.
The dark. So once you let the light in, you won't see the beautiful stars shining down from afar. No, I ain't afraid of the dark. I don't mind the rain, bringing life back. We can breathe again when dealing with the pain. No, I don't mind the rain.
Have a swim, dogs? Come on. Quick, go and have a swim. Come on, Dixie. Dixie. Mouse. Creek on our property. There you go, Dicko, you're having a swim already. You win. Waste no time now. Hey, what about you, Mousy? Come on.
Life will teach you what you need to know. And need to go. Getting old don't bother me, cause with eyes that spin through life, it's so much easier to see who I am and who I wanna be. No, getting old don't bother me. Truth can be a bitter pill, but it'll do you right and set you free the way a lie never will. Like climbing up the steepest hill, but truth can be a bitter pill. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need.
Righto, come on Dicko. Mouse, hop up. Snowy, hop up.
Like the
Mouse.
river flows,
Good girl.
life will take
Watch
you
out.
where you need to go. That's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. Ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go. Ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go.
So we're just going to run through a few basic things here. Firstly, I've always had Hondas, Can-Ams and the like as quads. This is the first time we've had a side-by-side. The step up for us at the moment to a side-by-side from a quad is fantastic. No throwing your legs over, on and off all day long, opening gates and what have you. You step in and step out. It's really, really simple and easy. It just speeds up your day when you're through gates and what have you all the time. A lot of other things we'll show you. So yeah, the concept of a side-by-side seat's better. Trish and I travel together far more comfortably, even though we had an XT, which is the extended model Can-Am, and it had a good dicky seat in the back. Still got more room for dogs, more room for equipment and gear and pumps and stuff when we work the bees and what have you. And those other brands were made in Mexico, America, Japan, places like that, probably Taiwan. But you know, I've always been a little bit dubious about a lot of the Chinese built stuff. Could be open and honest about that. I had a good look at these and I thought, well, they're pretty well built, but are they going to stand up to what we do? And I spoke to a few friends who run big properties out west in northwestern New South Wales, and spoke to them. I knew they had some CF Motos and spoke to them, and none of them had a bad word to say about them. They said they'd been running them for a few years. They'd put them through their paces in pretty hard country, pretty dusty country and what have you, and that they were really standing up to the task, and they couldn't say enough positives about them. So I went, well, there's about 10 grand difference between an equivalent version of this and a lot of the other brands. How you doing, Snowman? So we decided to opt for this. It was a pretty big money saving. You know, we've done about 30 hours in it now, which is not a great deal. It's had its first little service, but we've been all over the place on it, dragged all sorts of things around. A lot of creek crossings here. I tidied it up this morning to try and keep it clean for you for the demo, but there's mud all over the tyres. We had to cross a few creeks to get up here, and that's the backdrop of our property out behind us here. We start up in a corner here and we run down a road, and we basically head out that way. Those cattle are in the middle of the property. Our house is over the top of this shed just here. There's a horse just roaming. You probably can't see it. There's a horse running the paddock there. There's a bunch of cattle down the bush there. Really beautiful creek frontage. We'll run you through that and show you what we do. And this is obviously a big asset on the place. And as I said, it's proved very, very comfortable. So first of all, in the first 30 hours, what have I thought about it? It's got more than enough power for me. Obviously only a 600cc engine, single cylinder, understand it. I'm not going to go through all the technical specs because you can read them wherever you want online, or go to the website, and people really want to know more practically what these machines are like. And practically, it's been fantastic. Build quality is certainly up there. I'm pretty anal about build quality. I've been a Toyota man all my life, and you know, I just like things that are finished off properly, things that have got good amounts of paint on them, and there's not surface rust showing up here, there and everywhere all the time. And I've got to say, the build quality's impressed the hell out of me on this. Just how everything opens and closes and what have you is really, really good. So the side-by-side concept, as I said, look, you've got a bit of shade over the top. We've left it all open. We've got a half windscreen, which is going to be handy. We're going to do some western trips in this, mustering feral goats and mustering large mobs of sheep and stuff like that. A bit of shooting, so it's great to be able to have a rifle in there and be able to shoot straight out over the top without getting in and out of it too much. The two snorkels, I understand, they come on this EPS Hunt version. The snorkels are of massive plus for when you're constantly going through water, which we are here on Baru, and when you've got dust issues. So not a lot of dust here unless it gets really dry, but a lot of dust in a lot of the places we go. And clean air, and well, clean air to two things. One of these snorkels obviously is your air intake for the engine, and that keeps it up out of the dust and out of the water. So you've got good, clean, dry air getting in as required. And the other snorkel is actually, what I understand, is a large breather for your main drive belt casing. If that gets rubbish, dirt, dust, water ingress in it, you'll chew your belts out and things like that. And that's something you'd have to be very mindful of. And they reckon these snorkels just fix that whole issue. So I've just worked out, I'm standing in a green ant's nest. That's why I'm stamping my feet all the time, and they're biting the absolute hell out of me. Jeepers creepers, it's hurting. Lucky I've got my Japanese safety boots on, so I might have to come around here and see if I can get out of this ant's nest. I've got to thank those guys, the CF Moto dealers in Coffs Harbour, that are Adventure Power Sports. We purchased this outright, and yeah, so when you spend your money, this is no sponsorship deal or anything like that. I'm probably going to, if I believe in their product, I'm probably going to work in with these guys a little bit to help them to do some promotions, and we'll see where that goes. But at this point in time, we purchased this outright. As I said, we've had this for 30 hours. We've had the first minor service done at about 10 hours. It's right till 100 hours or something now. As I said, a lot of creek crossings and what have you. This thing just hasn't skipped a beat. On this EPS Hunt version, they're around $17,000 or $18,000, and you get the snorkels, which I just spoke about, which are very, very important according to the experts. You also get your tilt tray, which is in most of them, I guess. A good rear bar, which is really important. You get a tow bar and alloy wheels, of course. Just the perspective when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, is it a bit low in the middle? We'll wait and see. It's a bit different to a quad. It's wider and longer. I thought, oh, you get hung up on that a little bit maybe. Look, we haven't been hung up on it yet, and we've been over some pretty big moguls and what have you in the ground. And it's got all skid plates underneath. You get hung up a little bit underneath, it just tends to slide off pretty well. I guess it depends on the situation. But so I'm pretty impressed. I thought, oh, I might have put bigger wheels and tyres on it, but I don't think we'll need to. It's safe on the ground. It's been on some pretty nasty inclines and declines and what have you. Other standard features, of course, which aren't standard in all side-by-sides, are this good roof, which is just great for a bit of shade, a good flow through of air, a really solid feel about the whole machine. The other thing is just the way everything's put together is super, super intelligent. So I don't like leaving my bikes in a mess, even though they get in a mess nearly every time we use them. If it's not cow manure, it's mud and what have you from creek crossings. And the main thing with the quad is you couldn't get to a lot of it. Whereas with these, they're just so smart in how they put them together. You can drop this whole bonnet forward and you got total and complete access to everything in here, which is just great for maintenance, checking just for your periodic maintenance and your general checks, and great for cleaning. Really, really simple. So that they're just clip-ins and they pull down with some rubbers. That's a great concept there, and very intelligently thought out. Aesthetically, it's a pretty cool looking little buggy too, which might matter to some people and not to others, but very, very practical. If you come around the side here, I'll show you, I'll give you a little bit of a look. You got a driver's seat, bench seat, you've got seat belts for both, plus you've got the protective netting if that's what you choose to use. Traction control is selected via a simple electronic dial. It changes from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive with one turn, and then a second turn engages a front differential locker. That gives you the most available traction. A well thought out electronic dash displays all the relevant information that you'll require. The steering wheel is adjustable. There is a conventional key style ignition and shutdown, and a gear selection lever that allows access to both high, low range forward gears and a reverse gear, neutral and park. There are USB and 12 volt outlets as standard. A deep waterproof glove box, cup holders and under seat storage and under dash storage are all standard. Righto hounds, come. Dixie. The other thing we got obviously is your tailgate. Really good quality coatings, heavy duty plastic coatings on this. It'll be interesting to see how it stands up. Basically to UV and the weather is what it needs to stand up to, as long as it doesn't go all dry and dull and start cracking and falling to bits in no time. I've got a feeling it feels really good. I don't think it's going to. The other big asset obviously is, you know, whether it's rubbish or firewood or whatever it happens to be, that you can drop this with one pull, open your tailgate and just dump stuff out. If you come around here, you'll also see that again at the rear you've got access to your main engine, to rear diffs, CV joints, boots, your brakes, everything. It's just really, really well set up to get access to. So that's very, very important. Fuel capacity, can't remember, 35 litres, something like that. You get quite a bit of distance out of that. So all in all, we're really, really impressed with it. We'll keep you posted how this goes. As I said, we're really impressed. The first 30 hours, very, very impressed with the build quality, how it's performing. Oh, how fast does it go? I guess everyone's going to ask. Look, maybe, I don't know, we don't get to top speed here. We spend most of our time in low range, but it probably does 70 kilometres an hour. That's not how we operate here on this particular property. There's a lot of hills, as I said, a lot of creek crossings. We get out west and start to do some of those bigger kilometres on flat ground, and we're going to want that open up, put in high range and poke along at, I guess, 60, 70 kilometres an hour, no problems at all. Start getting above that and you start become a bit of a racing car driver, and there's more chances of something going wrong. So, but anyway, look, we'll keep you posted. I'm very impressed at the moment. Mouse, come hop up. Dixie. Snow, hop up, mate. Hop up. Righto, hop in, Dicko. Dixie. Let's go for a drive, eh?